So if I take a look at this problem, it looks just like any other solving problem that we have been practicing. You would first start off by subtracting 1 from both sides. You have 6 cosine of x equal to 1. So when is the cosine of x equal to 1 over 6? Now 1 over 6 is not one of the angles from our special right triangles. So there is no way to do this with a hand trick or your right triangle reference triangles. The only way to do this actually is with a calculator and using the inverse trig functions that we talked about earlier. If you look at your calculator above the sine, cosine, and tangent button, you will see sine to the -1, cosine to the -1, tangent to the -1. By pressing the blue button and then those buttons, you will be given the inverse trig. Your calculator will be finding what angle has the answer that you're typing in. You need to understand what mode your calculator is in. If you're in radian mode or if you're in degree mode. Typically, you want to be in radian mode pretty much from here on out in math. So we're going to do this in radians. So if I were to type in my calculator, I hit the second button and then the cosine, you'll see it pop up as cosine of -1, and you see it, and I type in 1 over 6, and if I hit enter, I have 1.40, which means that the answer for x is a 1.403 radians. If you remember, going back when you first learned about radians, that just means that you're 1.4 radians away. No, it's not your pi over 6 or pi over 3. That's a convenient angle for us. So if you remember that this is 0, we have pi. This comes back to be 2 pi. So pi over 2, which is the axis between the first and the second quadrant, pi over 2, if I did and found out what that value is, that just means 1.57 radians. And if I did 3 pi over 2 to find out what the other axis is, that is 4.71, which basically just means 4.71 radians. So our first angle that we get is 1.4 radians, so that puts us in the first quadrant. We do have another angle. Basically what that means is we need to have a reference angle of 1.40, which is going to actually fall in, well, cosine is positive in the fourth quadrant as well. So we need to have the same reference angle of 1.40. So to find that one, we're going to take 2 pi and minus 1.40. That was a little before. There we go. And you're going to use your calculator to find that. And I got 4.880 for an answer. So you need reference angles, and you're actually going to answer in radians, but with using decimals to do this.